Now, second part of the Latin influence I'm discussing now, but at the same time, you remember that we found that the words which were borrowed during the pre-Christian period, basically, you will see that most of the words are monosyllabic words, and those words were not borrowed directly from Latin, because these were actually used by the Britons, and from Britain, the words entered into the English language. Now we come to the second phase after Christianity, and we know that Christianity was introduced in England in 596 by the missionaries, and whose name is very important. That is Saint Augustine. And the moment the Christianity was introduced, or you can say in England, and automatically it's in the influence of the foreign languages, and especially Latin, started taking place directly. And we are basically dividing them into different categories, again according to the arena, or you can say the field. Words relating to church, because the religion is basically important. I told you that church itself, church, bishop, altar, candle, alms, abbot, angel, anthem, creed, disciple, epistle, hymn, martyr, devil. This is the words you can see. Now the point is that even pope, priest, person, relic, these words also. Psalms, Psalm, psalm. Here we remember that one, that you should prepare a note on a bishop, because bishop is originally what is the episcopus. Episcopus to bishop, and then bishop. And originally episcopus meant, or bishop meant overseer, and it was the overseer of anything, any work. Now he is the head of the church, so the meaning has also changed. Then words relating to domestic life. In that case, we say the fan. Then linen, mat, pillow. And see that we are using the word pillow. Pin, silk. These are the words written in domestic life, which are borrowed from Latin. And then names of plants, fruits, and herbs. You see that the words like radish, you know radish, oyster, pine, lily, palm, poppy. These words actually been borrowed from Latin. And then one part is important, that means if Christianity has actually tried to spread education in England, and the words relating to education, Latin words, you see that started in immediately after the Christianity was introduced in England. School, master, grammatical, verse, meter, talent, notary. These words basically, most of the another words are there, but these are the main words which are borrowed from Latin, which cover the area called education. And then animals, capon, doe, lobster, phoenix, turtle, trout, elephant. These words relating to animal category, the category called animal. These words basically are Latin words, and which have been borrowed by English language, during the even after the Christianity. And the verbs like offer, strive, SHRIV, strive, spend, stop, adjective like crisp, short. These are all borrowed from Latin. And this marks the beginning of the incorporation of foreign words into the English language, because you see that I discussed Scandinavian influence, which started in the 9th century, and I am discussing these things, that influence of Latin influence after Christianity, that means after 596, that means the 7th century, 8th century, and the 9th century onwards. So even before the introduction of, even before the influence of Scandinavian language, this Latin started influencing English language. And Now we'll discuss another phase called Latin influence in the Middle English period. And in this period, you have to remember that Wycliffe and others, they, after the Christianity was introduced in England, some people started translating Bible into English, and they started writing religious poems. Automatically, the involvement of the people was important, that they tried to translate Bible into English language, and that actually helped a lot in the incorporation of the words, Latin words, into English language. And that's a very interesting part of that one. And then we find that in words relating to law, suppose conspiracy, custody, homicide, incumbent, these words basically, remit, testimony, all these words relating to law, these were borrowed from Latin. And then theology, was relating to theology, incarnate, pulpit, rosary, script, scripture. Please remember these ones, how I'm dividing the influence into different phases. And then look at the point is the literature. Now words relating to literature, because I told you that the Bible was translated. So many poems are written in English, and those are basically religious poems. Allegory, genius, index, intellect, summary, prosody, ornate. These words actually relating to literature. These are borrowed from Latin. And then words relating to science. And very interestingly, the science basically, most of the words relating to science basically are borrowed from Latin. Immune, lunatics, mechanical, nervous, rational, solar, stupor, 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 torpor, zenith, zephyr. All these words relating to science were borrowed from Latin language, from the Latin language. Now we have to discuss other parts. I mean, another very important part is basically called during and after Renaissance. That means English, very well, in the 15th century onwards, English people were influenced by the Renaissance, which took place in other parts of Europe. And we have to discuss that part basically, and this is one major part of that one, very important part, because here we find the nouns, because there are so many words entered into English language because of the education which basically started in England. Nouns like anachronism, allurement, allusion, atmosphere, dexterity, folio, what the first folio and second folio in the folio, circus, axis, these are the words relating to this one. That most of the words enter into the English language. And then you see that one, the words like adjective, appropriate, dexterous, habitual, domestic, pecuniary, filial. And then the verbs like adopt, alienate, assassinate, emancipate, consolidate, exist, mediate, eradicate, etc. These words also, these are verbs enter into the English language during the Renaissance period. And actually, remember this one. This very interestingly point is that I told you in the initial classes that Latin is basically the Latin. French is also the part of Latin. Basically, French is basically a spoken variety of Latin. And as we know, this during this period already French started influencing English language. That I told you that in the 11th century onwards. So when English people started coming to know that most of the words are Latin words originally, though they are being called the French words, and they came to know about the root of the words. For example, avis and an advice. So that's why they modified the word advice instead of avis. They started using. I will discuss it later on, because it restricts me from, because of the because of the what I'm saying, that recording. So I will stop. I'm stopping here.